Real War Gamer here, looking at combat. Right there, combat. So, not to keep anybody waiting, I can say up front, such a great game, and not just such a great game, because I'll be talking more about the game here, obviously. Not to keep anybody waiting, such a great game. And on top of that, I guess I'm to the point where I'll say, we need more games like this. And I do not see games like this today. Now I understand, okay, I'll try to go through this step by step. So from what I just said, I wish we had more games like this today, and I do not see games like this today. I understand that some will say that's a good thing. Some will say we don't need games like this today, and so the fact that there aren't more games like this today for these gamers is a good thing. And it's interesting because I guess by definition those would be old-time gamers who know the period that this comes from. Again, Combat is 1981, but Iron Cross is 1990, so this is clearly 1980s, 1990s gaming. And I guess not speaking from any type of personal experience at all, only speaking from what I've read online and talked to other gamers about, is that this was a particular era in design style, and for some war gamers it was absolutely not what they have any interest in going back to, which is fine. That is what it is. But for me, I'm not going back to it. For me, this is gaming today. That's what it is for me. And I just don't see games like this today. I think that's a loss. What can I say? I'm really glad that I've been able to get a hold of all sorts of games in this vein, including this one, Iron Cross, NBA, NBA, such a great game, Rebel Yell, Assault, but Assault is still well regarded. Okay. I think I said enough on that for now. Now, well, how did I get back to this game? And by this game, I guess I mean Iron Cross. I think this was the first time I set out Combat. But when I set it out, I was intending to play with the Iron Cross rules. So again, I'm not sure what to call it, because this certainly doesn't have a formal series name. I think this is a series as much as Tactical Combat Series was a series. Okay, how did I wind up getting back here? And where am I going? Or where did I wind up here? Bottom line, I wanted very much with Combat to get back into something that was deep in complexity. That's it. Realism is nice. Yeah, I'm not even going to add to that. Realism is nice, but deep complexity is what I'm after, what I was going for here. Okay. So I had several different designs that I have discovered in the last few years come to mind when I think of that. And yeah, this was one of them. And I thought, I want to try combat with the Iron Cross rules and see what's going on with that. Okay. So where did I wind up? Well, again, I'm going to go right through how this transpired. But first, let me say up front, in case it's not clear, I am trying to, and it's not trying to break the rules, but I am trying to, with an experience like this, playing combat, I'm trying to get deep into the intricacies of the rules as quickly and deeply as possible. Okay? Which is not at all the same thing as... I mean, I don't play solitaire for fun or entertainment, so that's a whole separate thing. Okay, but I am trying to stretch the... I don't call it breaking the rules. I call it stretching the rules. Okay, this is what transpired here. And this is in order again. So over here, we have a pinned American rifleman that's obviously down in the open on a road. Okay. I don't even remember who shot at him, but somebody shot at him. Well, I think it was this. Was it this? Well, somebody shot at him. Some German unit shot at them and pinned them. Okay. So I'll leave him pinned there. So then I was thinking, the very next thing I want to do is this. I want to grab another, oh, look at that. Well, I'll grab an American bar soldier. This is Paulie here. Whoops. All right. It's not focusing very well. Anyway, that's Paulie, bar soldier. Okay, soldier. So I was thinking I'm going to add another American soldier to the stack. I'm not saying moving or anything. I'm just saying I'm going to add him, and then Then I thought I would have this. I added back here. Back here, I added a German. Oh, this is not going to turn out. Yeah, it's not going to turn out well at all. But this is a German LMG set for spray fire. I thought spray fire made sense in the tactical situation. I grabbed a German rifleman, put him there in this 1-hex building. I thought it would make sense that he would be down, in the down state. All right, and then I gave him, because in combat, I want to get to this later, but in combat, again, this is 9 years earlier. In combat, the MG counter represents just the weapon, and you have to have the number in the middle. The 1 there is the crew rating, which is, it's the full crew number. Okay, so in combat, it's that, but when you come to Iron Cross, it's different. In Iron Cross, let's see, in Iron Cross, it's different. This counter represents, this 37AT represents the weapon and the crew. And the 1 in the middle is not the crew number at all. That's the assault rating. And you in Iron Cross, you keep the track of the crew members on a separate sheet of paper. So, done differently. They changed that between combat and Iron Cross. By the way, to fast forward, I prefer Iron Cross way of doing it, and that's actually what, even when I play combat, I'm gonna go with the Iron Cross. This little experiment here has proven to me that I want to play with Iron Cross from beginning to end. No, I want to update combat to the Iron Cross rules entirely. So far, I haven't found anything in combat to retain. Okay, that's down the road. Okay, so I added the German soldier with the LMG, and then I was thinking I'm going to have him shoot right down the road. Okay, so then I'm thinking the reason why I wanted to do this is I wanted to compare because, I was thinking that when this German soldier was fired at in the open, and I think it was this German, so it's only, it's so close in range, and the soldier wasn't blown away, which is good. Let me make it very clear. I do not like games that amp up lethality. That's a whole nother discussion. I do not like games that artificially ramp up lethality. So anyways, perfectly understandable to me that if this single soldier comes, moving tactically up this road, even within 20 meters of a German in the house there, German opens fire, but does not just blow away the American. No, the American hits the dirt and is pinned. It's perfectly understandable. I'm perfectly fine with that. So then I thought, if I add a soldier that's standing there in the open, same hex, and I have the machine gun here, LMG fire at that, I am assuming that the lethality situation is going to be entirely different, i.e., I would not be surprised if the LMG does fairly easily eliminate that standing soldier in the open. That's what I was going to do. But then I was thinking, okay, so, first thing is, look at that. I was thinking about this and my memory was wrong. So I'm going to add this. My memory was wrong though. Okay, so let's pretend that, it's not pretending, but let's say that the Americans had already observed. Now I remember, I think the German there failed to observe the American there, but let's say that soldier that was pinned, let's say that unit had been, there's so many markers, that's what I'm getting to as well. Let's say that American had been observed. Now if I add the other soldier, again, we're not talking about how this would happen, but now I'm saying, okay, that soldier's standing in the open, then you have the other soldier that's pinned and observed, and let's just go ahead and say that it was observed by this soldier here. Okay, so then I'm thinking, does this LMG soldier now have to observe separately? And the bar soldier, and I don't see why it does not. So let's say we roll, and let's say that the German soldier observes the standing soldier. Now I've got a standing soldier. So basically in the same hex, let me just set these guys aside. Maybe this game would be manageable with double-sized maps. Maybe it's as simple as that. But now we have this soldier observed by this soldier, and this American soldier observed by this German soldier, which is realistic. This telepathic effect, as if soldiers can share observation, is not realistic at all. So I'm assuming this is how it's done. But then I was thinking, when the LMG fires into the hex, oh, no, I take that back. Oh wow, so how does that work? So just realized there's so many things to think through here. That's really the point I'm getting at. Great game, but it really is unfinished. It's an unfinished masterpiece, but it's still unfinished. So when this soldier observes this soldier, actually I guess that soldier's observing the hex. So actually this blue marker for observing would be everybody. It wouldn't be separate. In other words, this soldier observed both of them. And how would you keep that? I mean, you just got to keep that separate, I guess, because he's still only observing one soldier, or did observe one soldier. Okay, so let's, the LMG fires at the whole stack. So then you conduct 2 separate attacks against each soldier with totally different factors, by the way, totally different, combat factors. Okay, so that was one thing that was getting really hairy. And then there was another one. And the other thing was the time tracking. So the game doesn't come with all of these markers. I added the number markers, which I'll talk about in just a second. I added the ATS fire and move markers. I added the ATS, target markers, target acquisition markers that I use for sighting, and they're linked, right? Because you have to, when this soldier, as a matter of fact, I just grabbed, I'll even do the right one, right? So they're both a blue D, like that. Put a blue D here, oriented for the German, and put the same one on here, because you need to know who the original observer is, who the original observee is. Okay, and then let's see. Well, I guess those are the main other markers. But the timing. I mean, what this means is that this soldier right there, fired in the 5th phase. So we're in the first phase of the second player turn of the first game turn, but this tells me fired in the 5th phase, the prior 5th phase. This unit moved in the prior 4th phase, etc., etc. And by the way, the easiest thing to do, maybe, again, this game is so good, so great, it deserves to be updated, because we need games like this today, personal opinion. So maybe you have moved and fired markers, and maybe they're even color-coded, kind of thinking about ASL. Maybe they are color-coded for the phases of the turn. So you can quickly see, right? See, this is the fired in the 5th phase. Well, maybe instead of having to remember that and using a marker, maybe this fired marker has some type of indication that it is the defensive fire phase fire. So this was defensive fire phase fire. This was reaction movement. I'm looking at the turn record, or the turn. I keep saying turn record. The turn sequence over there. Yeah, so that's what tells me this unit moved and fired. By the way, moved and fired, because it moved. Oh wait. I didn't even record which was which. Moving fire phase. Oh, so it did move at some point. And the 6 is for the fire, because the 6th phase is moving fire phase. So this was moving fire. Oh man. So that's the second point. The second point is to play and enjoy this game is going to take more. I mean, I've tried to figure out all of the record keeping I have to keep, which is great, by the way. And by the way, Combat didn't have. No, that's not. No. Actually, never mind. That's not true. Iron Cross has that roster, so I'm going to need to develop a complete roster for combat, for the Americans and Germans in combat, the game combat. Gonna need to do that. I probably should just go ahead and create a turn sequence that I can quickly key to these. Yeah. So it's more work. And by the way, there's one more thing that I found, which is another. I mentioned the difference. Okay, so here is the. Let's see. Here is the Iron Cross machine gun, and here is the. Let's do it this way. All right, try to get them both on the. There we go. All right. So in combat, we have the again AP factor, crew number, or crew size. So this medium machine gun has a crew of 2 to be fully crewed, and a movement allowance. Over here, I already mentioned this, but they changed it to AP factor 13 in this example. Assault rating is 1, and performance rating. Oh yeah, you're right, because in combat this is just the weapon, so the performance rating would be the soldiers that are actually using it. Okay, so they changed that. So now this we've got crew size 3, which means not that it takes three other soldier counters to use it to be fully crewed. No, it means that this marker itself has an integral crew of 3, and if one of those 3 soldiers is eliminated, you mark that on the off-board track to show that medium machine gun 1 has lost a crew member. So now there are 2 acting crew members. Okay. Yeah, so that's different. So what I was thinking was, next time I play combat, and I'm going to play 100% with the Iron Cross rules, again, because I do believe that the Iron Cross rules are a positive evolution of the rules from combat. I'm going to have to create my own version. So what I'll do is, if this is that looks like a German medium machine gun actually, so if this is a German medium machine gun in combat, and this is a German medium machine gun in Iron Cross, and the assault rating is 1 in Iron Cross, I will just treat the German medium machine gun in combat as having an assault rating of 1. And easily I'll just use the medium machine gun counter in combat to represent this and also the crew. What I'll have to do is, I guess I'll have to generate a random spread of performance ratings, though, because those aren't on here. So yeah, so more homework. Luckily it's straightforward homework, but more homework to get more out of this great design. The play is just fantastic, but to get playing more, I'm gonna have to straighten out, because I wasn't sure when I started this. I wasn't sure at all how combat had evolved to Iron Cross.